Good evening, and welcome to the May 24th meeting of the Hyde Park Zoning Board of Appeals. Let's begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item is Marcos Chalk 23. Oh, beg your pardon. Before we do that, let's. We have minutes from the March 22nd meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Those minutes are approved. 23-04Z, location 16 Papanga Lane, Marcos and Chalk. Mr. Andros, you're representing them tonight?
Yes.
Okay, I would a motion to open the continuing the public meeting.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Questions? Mr. Andros, is there any other information, additional information tonight that we should be aware of?
Not that I know of.
Not be aware of. Okay. Board members, questions?
I have no questions.
I need a little more time to digest this thing.
Okay. I have a question. On the, in your document, you listed a number of items that would benefit or have impact on the physical environment conditions in the neighborhood. No increase in flood elevation in the river, no blockage of stream, no encroachment into the 404 wetlands, which are a part of the property, no change in the visual impact on views from the river, not visible to neighboring properties, no increase in traffic, no increase in water consumption, no increase in wastewater generation, no increase in impervious area, and no increase in need for municipal facilities or services, and a decrease in electrical power consumption. My question is, that was in the material that you submitted. Is that, are you affirming that those conditions will continue once the project starts?
Correct.
So the owner is guaranteeing that those will be adhered to?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Other questions?
Do you want to add some verbiage in there then?
Go ahead. Do you want to?
To the fact of what you just said.
Okay.
These are the
Okay. So
affirmations.
we'd like to put that in the variance requirement. We'll add that to them. All right. Other questions? Do we have anybody from the public here?
Yeah, you can say,
We do not. I'm sorry?
if you
Counsel?
want to amend it to say, per the applicant's representative,
Yes.
the following conditions will be met by the construction.
Yes, please. When we read that, we'll do that. Okay. No questions from the board? No comment from the public? Then I would move for closing the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Therefore, we have a resolution tonight to grant an area variance. Nadia Marcos and Adrian Chalk, 16 Papangan Lane, Hyde Park, New York, dated May 24th, 2023, resolution 2304Z. Whereas the applicant, Nadia Marcos and Adrian Chalk, have submitted an application for an area variance to allow demolition of the existing single-family home and replace it with a new single-family home on substantially the same footprint at property located at 16 Papanga Lane, Hyde Park, New York, 12538, identified as tax parcel number 606502602972 in the waterfront zoning district. Excuse me. Whereas the project is depicted on a plan entitled Proposed Replacement Single Family Dwelling prepared by Peter Andros, dated March 24th, 2023. And whereas the applicant seeks an area variance from zoning law section 108-4.3G2 to allow construction within the Hudson River Stream corridor. Whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings in accordance with Section 267B of the Town Law of Hyde Park, Zoning Law, Section 108-33.6B2 regarding the requested variance. The requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. The proposed replacement dwelling will utilize the same footprint location as the existing dwelling. There are natural buffers to the east and north, and the existing house and the proposed replacement will only be visible from the Hudson River and from lands greater than 1,000 feet to the south. Number 2, the benefits sought by the applicants cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. There is no other location on the property that would allow for the construction of a new dwelling. Only 15% of the total property is not constrained by the base flood elevation of the Hudson River as determined by FEMA. The demolition of the existing building will result in a reclamation of the land area constituting a physical improvement of the site. The requested variance is substantial, involving a significant reduction in the required 100-foot setback from the Hudson River. The existing three-bedroom single-family dwelling will be replaced with a new three-bedroom single-family dwelling. The requested variance, number 4, the requested variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the general neighborhood or district. There is.
My suggested edit for this section.
Yes, please.
Would be, as affirmed by the applicant, the proposed construction will result in, and then go to A.
As we include that, as no increase in the flood elevation of the river, no blockage of stream channels, no encroachment into 404 wetlands, no change in the visual impact on views from the river, not visible in the neighborhood properties, no increase in traffic, no increase in water consumption, no increase in wastewater generation, no increase in impervious area, no increase in need for municipal facilities or services, and a decrease in electrical power consumption. Number 5, the difficulties are self-created. The owner wishes to replace the existing single-family dwelling with a new single-family dwelling. Be it further resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants the requested variance to the following conditions pursuant to Section 108-33.5F1. The authorized activity must commence within 1 year from the date of issuance, otherwise it is revoked. And 2, payments of all fees and escrow. Do we need anything else on that we've included in this?
I do not believe so, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
all right. I've made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you pull the board, please?
Yes. Mr. Agrawal?
Yes.
Mr. Donnelly?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bowen?
Yes.
Chairman McNary?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Congratulations. Good luck on the project.
Thank you.
We
Now we'll go back to the planning board and see what happens there.
And we get an invite on house opening, right?
Absolutely. Oh, without question.
Okay. All
As a
right.
matter of fact, I think, you can probably stay over. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next item on the we have Siegel 2307Z. We need a motion for opening a new public hearing. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Are the Siegels here? Welcome. Oh, you brought the construction manager here too, I see. Huh? That's good.
Josh, you're the construction manager? Make sure everything's being done right?
Sure.
Good evening.
Well, welcome.
Board members.
Good. We understand that you are seeking a variance to change the minimum rear setback from 30 feet to 2 feet and to change the minimum side yard setback from 20 to 2.5 for the construction of a replaced two-story accessory garage. Okay. Tell us a little bit about,
Okay. All right, so currently.
Please use the microphone.
oh, there's a
Sorry, thank you.
handheld one there.
Thank you. Okay, so our existing garage, you want to hold this for me, Benj? Our existing garage, when we moved in, was already, go ahead, was already quite unsafe and deteriorating. And as our family grew, projects that needed to be done were the addition to our house because of the addition to our family. So the exterior of the garage hasn't gotten much love. You can see that the rear view, the wooden siding is rotting. The soffits which are joists to the interior, are also rotting out. It does not actually have a concrete foundation. The metal flashing was placed inside the walls and the concrete was poured in as a floor. And you can also see that from the interior that it was makeshift. A lot of, leftover pieces of wood were used to build a quote-unquote loft, which has been reinforced with metal strips and pieces of brick. It is quite unsafe. There is exposed electrical that was cut out, so there is no electric in the garage. It cannot actually house any of our vehicles, and it just has poor storage. You can't use the lofts. It's completely unsafe for anybody to be in there. We always tell the kids, please do not go into the garage. If we were to park a vehicle in there, it does not fit comfortably, and because of the loft situation, we're afraid that the loft is just going to fall down onto our vehicles. We don't use it anymore for vehicles.
Do you store toys?
Yes, right, bikes.
Bikes?
Basketballs.
Okay.
Scooters, yep, and our home need equipment, lawnmowers, snow blowers, so on and so forth. So we came up with a drawing with David to increase the footage just a little bit into our driveway and into our backyard, so it doesn't impact our neighbors to the west of us, and it does not impact our neighbors behind us. So the Sanfords will not be impacted, and the Davises will not be impacted.
So that the two sides, the one on the south and the west, are going to remain exactly where they are?
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay.
So you drive in the driveway to the right of the house and then enter straight in? If I
Yes.
looked at the picture.
And it would be able to house both vehicles.
And the new garage is 2 stories?
It's it's 2 stories on the rear, but it will only be 1.5 on the front due to the sloping of the front of it'll be dormered in the
Is that going
back.
to be used for like storage and stuff? Okay.
Correct. It will not be used for anything
Stairs to
besides
go up, right?
stairs. So there will be a door. So there will be a door that enters in through our backyard, and stairs will be going right up from it. So we won't need to impact anybody else's yard to use the stairs to go to the actual loft part.
The internal stairs.
Their internal stairs, so that way we can actually have safe storage so that we can put 2 vehicles inside. And the addition that we put on our house in 2013 has the cedar shingles, which look like cedar shingles, but they're vinyl, is in the heritage blue. We have a dolphin gray foundation which will be painted, and we'll be using the same color schema for the new garage, as well as a cream colored trim. And we're going to be using the Craftsman style doors and lighting fixtures to match the existing home. We should have a picture of our home on there.
Who designed it?
I did.
Okay, you did a good job.
I'm a first grade teacher. I do this all day.
So the difference, it sounds like the building will be in the same location as the previous one, and the same distance from the side and the rear?
Right. So it's
Correct.
going to make its way a little bit more into our existing perimeter, or in the backyard.
North
So-
and east.
North and east, that's right. So it's going to come in probably 2 or 3 more feet into our existing driveway, so it'll be
Okay.
a little bit deeper, and then a little bit wider, so it'll go into our existing backyard.
Okay, all right. So the variance, your garage now, your current garage violates the current
Zoning code.
Yes.
Zoning code.
Yes. There's a lot about that garage that's just not good
Yeah,
at zoning
yeah.
code or
Okay,
any code
so
at all.
So we're looking for a variance on this, okay. Okay. Questions?
What are the dimensions of the new garage? Because there was a 1/4 scale, 1 foot. I didn't scale it.
Yeah, it's going to be,
It's being attached.
yeah, it'll be 27 feet by 27 feet,
Oh, okay.
So we could,
going up to about 17 feet.
so we could actually fit vehicles inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks like a good project.
Yeah.
An ambitious one.
Yeah.
Is there anybody from the public here to comment on it? There being none? Are there any other questions from the board?
None.
I would,
Chairman,
do we need to continue? or-
Hold on.
Yes,
I would just like to make a clarification. There are setback requirements from property lines for the New York State Building Code. I don't know if there is one that's required for this from New York State, but the variance that you're considering is only for zoning.
okay.
Could you repeat that for me?
Yeah.
New York State Building Code does have setback requirements from property lines for structures. I don't know what that is. New York's, the variance that's being considered here is only with respect to Chapter 108 zoning,
Our zoning, not the building.
not the building code zoning.
So were they to run into a problem with the building code, that would be something else.
That's something else.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Do we need to continue this?
So should the board choose to, they can close the public hearing. You can hold the vote. Technically, once you close the public hearing, you have 62 days to render a decision.
All right, so I have a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now, we would like a motion for the board to approve this. Correct?
Is that a resolution?
If that is what the board chooses to do, that's
Yeah,
within their
resolution.
power.
I'm trying to think in terms of the resolution, then we would have to draft a separate resolution.
So the decision is the key factor. So once you make the decision on the record, that's the key to the running of those 62 days. So if you make the determination tonight to grant this variance, that opens and closes that window. You can then render a written opinion after the fact.
Okay. All right, which would be a resolution that we would bring up at the next meeting.
Correct, so long as there aren't any additional conditions that have not been discussed here tonight.
Okay, all right.
Do you have your neighbors tied up anyplace?
Yeah.
Read the resolution next
All right.
I think
Yeah.
Mr. Davis behind us would.
Yeah, I think everyone would be very appreciative
And I would,
going forward with this.
Oh, so do you know when the garage was built? Was it 51, 2? Or earlier?
Probably in the ballpark. Yeah. I mean, the house itself is 1941.
Did you contact anybody about salvage? Because they may be interested in some of the beams and things if they're...
I did not, but
No,
I don't think there's
I don't think
anything.
there's much salvageable.
It's not a requirement.
It's-
No, but
just
I'm
making
saying,
a suggestion.
they
Yes.
would, they might save you money
Okay.
as far as the tear down.
Okay.
okay. Then I will entertain a motion to approve this variance subject to, council, we need a subject to
Resolution.
Resolution.
a resolution, a formal resolution at the next meeting.
Next
Correct,
month.
and there are typical conditions that you have with each resolution.
Right. Subject to those those conditions pursuant to section 108-33-5, the authorization activity must commence within 1 year from the date of issuance.
Why don't we prepare the resolution for next month
Yep,
first?
that's fine.
We will, we'll prepare that. I'm just trying to get approval now And we can move the resolution next month.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So I would move that we approve the variance, subject to finalizing the resolution at the next meeting in June. Is there a second?
I second it. Yeah.
Madam Secretary, would you take a vote on that?
Yes.
Can the site plan waiver still continue for next week, or does that have to wait?
I have never done it this way, so I don't know.
Oh.
We're cutting new ground here.
So, maybe we could explain a little bit further. If it is approved today, what was that 62-day window that you were referring
So
to?
the 62 days is just after the board votes to close the public hearing, they have 62 days to render a decision.
Okay.
So if the board votes tonight, that decision is made.
Okay.
You would get a formal written resolution describing the action,
And that will be
a formal
at the
paperwork.
next,
No amount
at the next meeting.
Public
No.
can still.
Within 30 days.
No, if you close the public hearing, the public will not have any more opportunity to comment on the project.
Okay. That's what I think we.
And it's
So it
already
sounds like
been
it's
an
closed
error.
tonight,
We don't get
but then draft the resolution. The resolution will be confirmed next month, and then probably the week after that would be the site plan waiver and then everything.
Let me ask
No, the
this question.
decision, if
Is
they're
it,
making the decision
if,
tonight,
We'll do it next month, it'll be fine.
if we do it next month, everything, are you all right with that?
I think so.
And then we're done.
And then we're done, right.
Okay. Mhm.
Right, that's good, we're good.
Okay, then I withdraw my motions for approval at this
Why
point.
do we stick to normal protocol?
Yes, we'll stick to normal protocol. We will not try and cut new ground. Okay, so the public hearing is closed and continued to June 28th.
Oh.
Nope,
You've
so
already
you've closed the
closed it.
public hearing,
We closed the public hearing.
the board voted to close it, so now you'll have 62 days to render your decision. That can be done at the next meeting.
That decision will be done at the June 28th
I,
meeting.
I won't be here, I'll be on business, but.
No, we'll be in Germany as well.
You don't need to be
You
here.
don't need to be here.
Okay, okay,
You're okay.
We'll take care of you.
We'll make a phone call if you want when we're done.
Send the architect.
okay.
Okay. Have I totally messed this up?
No,
We're good.
no,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, we're good for tonight.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell me your name.
Josh,
Josh. Now, what part of the construction do you get to tear it down, or do you have to build it?
I want to tear it down.
Tear it down, okay, okay. Well, we look forward to that. Josh, you have to take pictures for us, too, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
pretty good at that.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is Mendoza, 2303Z.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need a motion for opening the public hearing.
Motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, welcome.
How are you?
Tell us what you're about.
So the reason we're here is because we own chickens, and there is, well, we own roosters and hens.
And turkeys.
A turkey,
And ducks.
ducks.
Yeah.
First to start, I recently read The Crucible, and you look exactly like Reverend Hale.
Reverend Hale, okay.
Ah.
I've
Exactly.
heard a lot of references from
You
movies.
retire.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Did you like it?
I watched the film.
Spectre,
but the
Spectre
play-
evidence, right?
The play wasn't that, wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't good.
That's okay.
So it is in close vicinity to other areas, but I don't personally think that it affects the other properties, just because we do have them closed in, and we rarely let them go out. And when they do go out, we are usually sending them. We don't let them go, to other properties. The neighbor behind, we've talked to all the neighbors around us, and they don't seem to have an issue with the chickens personally, as like they're making a mess or something. The one behind us says that they're good for the summer because they eat the stink bugs. And
They eat them?
they do eat the stink bugs.
You have a rooster?
We have 3.
One?
Three.
Three.
3 roosters?
So there's a difference between the roosters and the chickens.
Yeah,
And-
there's
And also in
hens
terms
and
of
there's
how
roosters.
far they can be from the different houses.
Yeah,
As
there's
far- yeah.
for roosters, I
Yeah.
believe it's 350, and hens is 250.
Do the roosters ever crow?
They do. Some days more than others. I don't know why.
You have a turkey too.
We do. He does not. He's
Yeah.
kind of just there.
I expected him to disappear around Thanksgiving.
No, that's my best friend. I told him he couldn't. We had another one, but we had to give it away because they were fighting. They were both males. They just kept fighting.
So,
I drive a busload of kids by there twice a day,
Really?
and we're really disappointed we don't see them out anymore.
Yeah, we stopped letting them out because
Yeah.
they were just going everywhere.
But I do have a concern. One would be that you are right next to the water supply for the entire neighborhood. And I don't know if we should, it's a pretty big deal, I think.
It is a big deal.
And we might want to visit the site.
Absolutely.
And maybe send a letter to
No, they're afraid because the turtle will bite their feet.
Yeah, they
I'm sorry, that's not the-
It's on the other side.
We'll give you a chance to talk in a second.
Okay.
Please.
Do you know that, I mean, the current regulations require, if you have a rooster, 350 feet from the nearest house, and if you don't have a rooster, it's 200. And you clearly have 5 or 6 houses were within 100 feet. So this is a significant change in terms of that. The other is, as Mr. Perkins pointed out, the water for the neighborhood. You're very close to the pond there. I think you're within 100 feet of that pond. So how you're storing
The manure?
Waste?
We compost it. So we have 2 trees, and all we do is dig up some ground, lay out the manure, cover it with new soil.
Okay.
And we don't really get a lot of waste just because most of them is all in their pen, and the manure that we get inside the coop is very little. Because it's only the chickens that can get up there.
How large is your lot?
Our lot is, I think it's 0.53 yards.
Quarter of an
Quarter of an
acre.
acre.
Quarter of an acre.
So you've got 10,000 square feet. In terms of how many animals you're allowed, there's a formula for that. I don't know if you've looked at that in terms of how many pounds of
Yeah, it's
animals.
1,000 per 1 yard. 1
Per
yard and a quarter.
1.5
Yeah,
acres, I think it
1.5
is.
yards, yeah.
So you're down to less than a third of that in terms of what would be allowed. So have you been able to calculate how
Well,
the volume
from-
of your animals? in
We
terms of-
have, from just the hens, it's 135, I believe. They're not fat. And then it's just the 2 roosters, the turkey, and the ducks. I think it's just around 220.
How many animals
Yeah, I was
total?
gonna ask
You-
that.
you-
Maybe pueden llegar, no estoy seguro, maybe por
Most likely, not close to 40, not past 40 though.
You said 40, 40?
Close to
40?
40, yep.
Wow. So, I have a question about the turkey. Is turkey considered domesticated animals, or do you have to have? I thought they were wild animals.
No, there's a nice big white one.
No, it's a
Oh,
white one.
It's a white one.
domesticated.
It's a domestic. Oh, okay.
So 40 altogether, including the turkeys, the chickens, and the
Yep.
ducks? Okay.
More than 228 pounds.
Yeah. All right. So I think I think we need to make a site visit to see the site.
Okay.
And we'll have to make arrangements
Que van a ir,
in terms of some convenient time for everybody here. We can come out and look at that. Are there other questions on this?
No, but I just hear from the public. I think there's
Yeah.
quite a few.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public would like to? Yes, sir. Okay, you want to
Would you mind coming up and just taking the microphone, please?
give them the hand? Yeah.
Thank you.
You have any questions for me?
Which neighborhood?
Do you want it?
And which neighbor are you,
Which-
sir?
We're right next door.
They're right there.
Okay.
They're 4 windmill, we're 6 windmill. They
Okay.
come over to our house, and we don't mind.
Okay.
Joanne.
You don't mind the roosters crowing, or, you know,
We feed them.
feed the,
Okay, tell me your opinion in terms of all of the animals there.
I have no problem at all. They don't bother us. We feed them. They're, I don't know. I don't think there's 40.
do you ever smell, droppings
No,
or manure or
no.
anything?
And the people behind them don't mind, we don't mind, and
That's-
they don't want to go in the
that's
water
hearsay.
because the turtles bite their feet, so none of them go in the water.
You have a deck that looks right out in their yard, correct?
I'm
Yeah.
the original owner in Greenfield, 54 years.
Okay.
And whose sculpture is in the backyard?
Yeah, it's my brother's.
That's my son, one of my other sons, and I don't want to get rid of it.
Why, you don't like it?
No, I love it.
He used to work at Talix, and that was all the slag from when they poured metal.
Yeah.
And he welded it all together into that.
It looks great.
I think it's pretty ominous myself.
I think
Guy
you
with
put
a
it out
sword.
front, maybe. No.
I was pretty scared. When we first moved in, we were kind of a little freaked out.
Who lives next door, right?
Yep, just a little. We thought there were young people that lived next door. 'Cause, you know, you see a sculpture.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you breed, the chickens?
We incubated, but only one came out, and
So-
he got eaten by a fox, I believe.
Okay. Is that every, did you try that once, or are you gonna try it
Once.
again? Okay.
Let me ask, the primary purpose for keeping all of these animals is what?
My father, when he wasn't born, we weren't born in, well, he was, but we weren't born in this country. He had animals back then. It's just, a reminder of what he
Pets.
had. Pets.
Okay. Do you sell eggs?
We don't.
Okay. Do they produce many eggs?
They stopped producing now because I mixed their feed with corn, and they were just getting full off the corn, and they're not getting the nutrients off the feed.
Okay, okay, all right. Well, we definitely need to have a site visit, because the variance that you're asking is quite significant in terms of the numbers and the location of the surrounding houses and the water, and we're concerned about all that, and we need to clearly take a look at that. So I would move that we continue the public hearing until next week, and that.
Hi. There's a written comment that perhaps we should read into the record. It's right there in the agenda.
Okay,
So you don't need me anymore, right?
no, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. This note is in response to your notice of a request to allow the unenclosed storage of manure at 4 Windmill Road in Greensfield. I have concern about the potential contamination of groundwater in the Greensfield Pond if the manure is permitted to be stored as close as 78 feet of watercourses and wetlands where 300 feet is required. Is there a plan in place to have the manure runoff monitored or tested for contamination on a regular basis? If not, I am opposed to granting this request. Okay. Any comments on that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not the issue.
All right. Then,
There's wild ducks there, too. There's Canadian geese that come every year. So they were there long before everybody else.
they come to the pond.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have
And they're
their
dirty,
babies there.
and they're dirty birds. Canadian geese are dirty birds.
We had to. My mom kept shooing them away because
Yeah.
they would kill the grass of how much they poop.
Oh, yeah.
Market Street, then they may have to use multiple containers.
Yeah. All right. We have a motion to continue the public hearing to June 28th.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. So we will continue this until next month, June 28th. In the interim, we want to set up a meeting that we can come out and take a look.
Okay.
And Kathleen, you'll arrange that, and
Yes.
we'll figure out a time. Maybe 1 or 2 visits, we're not sure.
Okay.
In terms of the board members, as many that want to come out, do that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you next month.
And my kids do enjoy them.
Sorry?
My children going by,
Oh.
they really like it.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
I can't see 40, I mean, we only had like maybe 5 or 6 chickens ever come over, so I don't know.
I don't think there's that many.
There's not that many.
Yeah, don't have 40.
No.
We don't really know a real number because most of them have to be
Yeah,
filled
it's not
out
that
by.
Okay, yeah, you may
Thought
want
we
to
were
do
gonna
that.
do a
in
site
the
visit.
interim. Okay.
Alright.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye now.
I think there's actually, physically, I see less now than I did.
That's where we're going.
Okay.
But there's also limited breeding.
All right, we have the next item is a new application, Hotingling 23-02Z. I would move for opening a public hearing?
No.
No. Okay, I won't.
Application, introduction.
Application. Is the applicant here?
Is this for the Culinary Institute of America?
No.
You're next.
No. Okay, that applicant is put aside. That makes it a little more difficult to address.
That's it, just,
Well, we haven't opened a public hearing, and,
You haven't advertised yet,
Yeah, no, it's still a new application
Yeah. Oh,
introduction.
okay.
New application,
So they
they
have to
haven't- they
show
have
up.
not showed
They
up
indicated they were gonna show up, and for some reason they did not.
And Mr. Chairman, I suggest the board takes no action.
Thank you.
right, we will not take any action. Okay, all right, let's go on then to the CIA 2306Z presentation. Welcome. This is the big gates.
Thank you for having us. By chance, are they noted on the board here?
We submitted a thumb drive with the drawings and the application. Are
Yes,
the drawings
yeah, you can put a
updated?
thumb, yes.
Do you have the thumb drive we submitted with the drawings?
Oh, wait, it might be right here.
So the architect who was to present was suddenly called out of town for a family matter. So I'm here as a
Yeah, I
representative.
talked to him, and he said you were gonna be here instead,
Yeah.
and that you knew it all and had it all ready.
Did he tell you that?
He did.
All right. Well, let's roll with that idea.
There's a mouse, and there you go.
All right. Right here? Okay. So what we are doing is, let me give you a little bit of background here. Okay, so here we have what we consider the north entrance, and directly across from the entrance, the development, which is on the east side. And here we have the south entrance, and I'm sure all of you know that.
Right.
Excuse me?
Yep.
Would you mind please stating your names for the record?
Sorry. My name
Thank
is
you.
John McEnroe. I'm the Senior Director of Facilities and Capital Planning at the Culinary Institute of America. And it's, you're too young to know the tennis star, but the McEnroe.
I waited on him in LA.
Oh, sorry for you. Where he has the letter O, I have the letter U. That's the only difference. So it's John McEnroe.
Thank you, though.
You as well, ma'am.
Yes. My name is Madison Cannella, Cannella. I'm an architectural associate at Sloan Architects.
Okay,
Thank you.
welcome.
So what we're doing with our two entrances, to give you some overview, is we're trying to create a significant entrance, not unlike what we see at Marist, not unlike what we see at the Vanderbilt Estate. So it's in keeping with what we have on Route 9. And we think most people who come to the culinary, most people who even drive down Route 9 almost expect it when you look at the stature of the campus behind it. The gates themselves architecturally, which I hope is here, really embody the main building of the campus and several of the other buildings. It's that Georgian architecture that we see in Roth Hall, but also replicated in the Georgian Revival for Marriott, the Conference Center, as well as our Hilton, Conrad Hilton Library. And these gates borrow architectural elements from that, including what are these center piers or the entry piers on both sides of the entrance, which are the same brick tone color, and the caps to themselves are the same cupolas that you will see on the turrets of Roth Hall when you drive by.
Well, you know, what was it, just last year, we approved large signage?
You did.
For you?
You did.
Can you tell me between then and now, why the change?
Branding. We changed over our branding last year to what you had seen in the signage.
Right.
And so we changed the signs to coincide with the branding. That branding doesn't change, and quite frankly, we weren't sure that we were actually going to move forward with the Gates project. As most institutions like Vassar, Marist, and the Culinary, is that we rely a lot on the benefactors of the institution, and so the benefactors have been interested in this. So we installed the gates with the proper branding that we needed at the time we did the switchover last summer, with the idea that if we didn't get the gates in terms of our fundraising efforts, that we would still be very happy with those. And so we will be substantially happier with the gates.
So your funding was successful and now?
So far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a variance in height and number here?
Yeah.
And if I understand correctly, both entrances, you will have basically, I'm confused because of the fifth sign. You have two on either side as you enter, which are considered signs, and then you have the restaurant sign, which on either location, on the north and the south, which come out and are lit, or there's light on them when your restaurants are open. Am I getting that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, where we're looking at what is the south entrance as our restaurant entrance, and the north entrance, which will never be an exit. So the south will remain strictly an entrance.
Say that the north entrance will never be?
The south entrance will never be an exit
Okay.
from the campus. It will always remain an entrance. And it is primarily used, we use it as people who work there, but it's primarily to welcome guests, meaning for the restaurants and for various gatherings.
But you also have this restaurant sign on the north one as well.
Mhm.
I admit confusion in terms of going to your restaurants there, in terms of finding them. And if I come in on the north entrance, finding the restaurants from there is a hike. Whereas most of your restaurants are located on the south side.
In terms of access to the parking garage, you're correct. And so we there's another master plan coming down the road 5 to 8 years from now, which will then change the internal workings of what you see. What we're hoping now is to concentrate on highlighting the entrances so that when people come from the north, they can see the entrance to the Culinary with these gates, as well as when you're coming from the south, they can see that. So you can in fact access the restaurants from both the north and the south, but there will only be an entrance from the south.
If I can add on briefly, the gates and the signage also serve as a way to formalize the functions that already exist at those two entrances. Those restaurant signs and the metal gate are motorized just to make it very clear visually that when the restaurants are open, you will fully be able to see that sign. And on the south side, these gates will be open. So, and then when the restaurant is closed, those signs fully fold back to the very back of the pier, so they are no longer visible from Route 9. Those curved walls, those curved walls also, the symmetry of the curved walls serves as a welcoming onto the campus, and as we've talked about, the stature of these structures also is taking elements directly from Roth Hall, so there are no new architectural elements, no new hours of operation, and no new functions. And the size and the stature also don't change or interfere with any of the DOT's right-of-ways. The curved walls additionally help ease any of that confusion as you approach the campus, because one sign is seen in both directions of travel as you're on and along Route 9.
Like what you see currently now.
I have a question. You say motorized sign, are you talking about the gate, or are we talking about two separate things?
It's a sign that comes out on the north side of each entrance.
Is that where the cursor is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
folds out and it has restaurant.
Is it lighted, or just?
It will be lit.
It will be lit.
Yes.
It won't be lighted, it'll be lit. No, isn't that correct?
Yes.
You'll have a light on it, but
Yeah.
it will not be lit internally.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, I get it.
And based on preliminary light studies, it doesn't change any of the, it doesn't increase any of the lighting that currently exists at either of those two entrances.
Okay. Thank you for mentioning the New York State right away. You guys are behind that. The gates themselves are at the back of the curve.
Yes, correct.
This is the north entrance, and this is the south.
But the gates are behind, are west of the circular area that you
Okay.
enter.
And
That's correct.
the height of those, I'm not sure what you called them,
The piers.
piers.
Yep.
24 feet.
How do they compare to Marist
I
and
was thinking about that.
Vanderbilt's?
Vanderbilt's is about, what, did you measure them? Have you measured them?
I have not measured them. I do not have those numbers.
Vanderbilt seems, on the south entrance of Vanderbilt, those are significant.
Yeah.
On the north entrance, they are not. On the north entrance of Maris, I don't think they're 24 feet.
No.
But I'm trying to think of the central entrance to Maris. Maybe they have,
Marist also doesn't have the cupolas to their entry gates. And the only reason why I say that is because from a distinction between the campuses, architecturally, the cupolas on the top of the turrets on the CIA are what people know. Architecturally, it's there for. Marist doesn't have that.
okay.
The structures are also sized proportionally to the existing buildings on the Culinary Institute campus and are farther back.
So, it's circular and you're entering into.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the concern, Rich?
They look pretty damn big. That's what they look.
Size.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a comparison,
Okay.
please, on
Sure.
those three, the other two institutions, please.
I mean, you use them as, your reference, so
I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
I think we'll take you out and put you next to.
Can we also see more of an artist's rendering
here's
versus
Marist right
that?
here up next to you.
There were two renderings submitted in the application. And I believe that I can get the files.
Here's the,
A201 and A202.
I meant color.
Oh.
I meant like color fake photographs.
Yeah.
Those should be also attached in this file.
here's the sign that goes out.
That's what's called.
No.
That should be in the planning board ones. Yeah.
Okay, you can get some, if this is.
Do we have it?
That's my guess.
Yeah, and then this is, okay. Questions?
No.
Is there something we need to, color-wise?
We think Tad might be pulling it up, and we certainly didn't want her to be doing our work for us. But with Mike being called out of town, we didn't realize,
It's all right.
yeah,
You're making a good start.
thank you.
Yeah, okay. Questions on that? Other questions? Dan, do you have some questions on this? Anything?
I was just getting the renderings.
Ah,
Ted.
These?
Yep, exactly.
That's good. That's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Red brick. Not, well,
this
you
is the
call it
north
something
entrance.
else, rust, or what?
Yeah.
The renderings?
Red, yeah. The color.
The gates, this is showing no gates. This would have, there's gates.
So the
there, right?
cupolas themselves match the patinated cupolas on Roth. The brick itself, as I'm sure you know, the brick comes in many variations of colors and size. It'll match Roth, as well as the pointing work. And the archways actually match the first level where the restaurants are on Roth itself.
It's hard to see, this is 25, almost 25 feet. So that really,
This is road coming out.
oh, yeah. Glasses up.
Okay.
Huge. I can see why the donors want this to be done. It's
Yeah.
very classy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, it is, okay. And that's just the other. Now, the
Yeah,
south entrance is seen as an entrance only, all the time?
Yes.
Okay,
That's the way it is. That's the way it is now, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
yeah, no, yes, this is the south entrance, yes. The north entrance has the stoplight, well, both have stoplights. This is clearly, most of your traffic is coming out of your, in and out of your north.
Correct.
Students. I was confused going there when I come in on the north entrance to go to a restaurant, and you have parking lot that's designated for restaurateurs that is north of the buildings there. You have a number of parking lots there for faculty and students, and there's one designated during the restaurants. There was,
Can I ask how long ago was this?
within the last year.
Oh, really? Okay. We
And
try to
so
use our.
I was walking over, up the stairs and through the,
Heinz Plaza, up the stairs where the
Right.
traffic circle is, Heinz Plaza,
Yeah.
then to the back, yeah.
Now, also for your, well, it would be different, for your adult students that come, us old people that come for your Saturday cooking. I've done the pies and the soups.
Yep.
And something else.
Continuing education. Yep.
So that parking is on the north side of the buildings. Is that correct? Yeah.
So most of our guests, we direct them, the signage at least, directs guests and restaurant visitors to the parking garage, the two-level parking garage.
And the best way to get to that is on the north or the south entrance?
South,
The cleanest is from the south.
and then bear left.
Exactly. If you come from the north, when you come in past the guard booth that's there now,
Right.
you come to that perpendicular stop, there's a sign that directs you to the left
Right.
and wraps you around, which will bring you back to that left Y.
Okay.
And that'll bring you strictly, and it's almost directly across from what is the Conrad Hilton
Okay,
Library.
my hunger was probably too much to see all the signs. Okay, good. All right, then other questions?
The guardhouse has also been set farther back to accommodate more cars along this strip, so there's no clogging along Route 9.
Okay.
And that's the.
That's the north entrance.
That's the north entrance, and it'll be a new guard booth.
And along the south, this basically this cobblestone pavers allow for a three-point turn because this is a one-way entrance, should someone not see that these gates are closed.
Okay. All right. Then I think we'd like to set a public hearing for the next meeting, the 28th of June. Is there a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. All right, so we will have a public hearing at our next scheduled meeting on the 28th of June. Very good. We're excited about your project.
Thank you for your reception. Would you like us to bring the comparisons
Yes.
heights at that time?
Yes, please.
Okay, happy
Yeah.
to do so.
I could probably have one of you stand next to each of them and then see what they would look like.
Okay.
All right, and the entrance needs to be wider than the Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay. It is already.
Vanderbilt wasn't carriages.
Yeah, the carriages are a little.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
no.
narrow, that's a narrow entrance.
It is and it will be. Duly noted.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you very much for coming. We look forward to it. Our appetites are increasing. All right. Is there, sir, do you,
Tom Cummings for Al Hoteling, Al's Yard.
That's the back.
huh?
The back.
Yeah. Okay. We had you on the, we had you on the schedule earlier, okay? You want to come up and talk about your project? Tell us again, your name?
My name is Tom Cummings. I'm the engineer for Al Hoteling's Al's Yard.
This is Beck? Beck? Okay.
I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, could you identify the property? What's the address?
It is 11 Beck Road.
11 or 7?
Or 7 Beck Road. He owns 3 properties adjacent to each other, and I've always known it as 11 Beck, but it might be 7.
I think it's 7 for the junkyard.
Yeah, we have it for 7.
Because he puts his address down as 11 on everything, so.
I think that's the house address.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell us about the project. Tell us, you're seeking a variance for,
Seeking a variance from 25 feet side yard to 7 feet. There was an existing building that was on the property, a concrete block building, and Al Hoteling added onto that building and encroached within the setback. The original building was also within the setback, but not that much. And he did a wrap around the building on the side and on the back of the building, and he encroached into the zoning setback zoning yard.
Mr. Cummings, just to clarify, is the variance to go from 25 to 6 feet or 7 feet?
Well, let's say 6 to be safe.
I'm trying to,
The application reads 6.
Okay.
all right.
I think we were at 7, but we said 6 for the trim and the gutters and overhang and all that, just to be safe.
Okay, here's Beck Road, all right. We've got the house, and we have the block garage, and it has an addition on it, which is this.
That's correct.
And in addition, you have, where is that now? Okay. You have 3, or you have 2,
Shipping containers.
yeah.
Those are those steel shipping
Right, no, I see
containers you
that, but
see
they're not-
on
they're not
ships or on
permanent, yeah.
tractor trailers. And then next to that, there's a lean-to that butts up against one of the shipping containers.
That's this.
But he could cut that off to reduce that. It's kind of a temporary lean-to that he could cut off the end of it so it's not so close.
Are you, okay. I'm confused on the building here.
Yeah.
Are you looking to build new, or are you looking just for a variance of what you have existing?
Just for variance of what he built already. He's not going to add any more. It's the shaded or hatched area.
Yeah, we see it. We're looking at it now. Thanks.
I don't know if you can pull it up on there, or I could come up.
She didn't take her.
Why don't you come up?
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm trying to get to
This is
where it is.
This is back there, and then this is the driveway coming
Yeah, okay, Beck Road is over here.
Yeah, here's the site plan. This is the, so Beck Road is here.
Right. You have a drive- This is your entrance
This-
here?
This was the original block building. And he built this hatched area, added this hatched area onto it. Then he has two steel shipping containers adjacent to the building, and then the lean-to that has one beam with several posts, and then the back end of the roof actually bears on the one shipping container.
Right.
So he could cut this off.
Probably could remove the shipping containers too, right? Move them.
Already, this is the property line
This is the
here.
property line, right here. It follows the stone wall. It jogs on an angle, you know. This fence goes straight, but that's not the property line.
neighbors
The property
around?
line follows from here to here and then to here.
Is there any other neighbors around in the
These are the
neighborhood?
four property
Yes.
points. And the house is here,
Okay, at this point, this is the 6 feet from here to here.
right here, the closest point. Yeah.
So we had a flood a few years ago. Were you around then?
Yes.
Did it come through here?
It didn't come through here. It went down across, not Beck Road, but what Beck Road tees into, and it hurt some of the mobile homes that were over
Well, it
there.
knocked out the whole road right here, right? It was the road was actually
It
missing.
went around this property, I think, because there's a mobile home down there that got washed out pretty bad. I remember driving by.
I just remember the road.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Yes,
put this in.
speak up a little.
There was a mobile home that, that got washed out pretty bad. That's on the other road that crosses Beck Road. That's, East Dorsey, is it?
Dorsey comes here, and then there's another one.
Right, the flood crossed Dorsey and it hit some of the homes on the edge of Dorsey.
Dorsey's running this way. right?
Dorsey runs down here, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, down and around.
I don't know if it shows it here, but Dorsey is further down towards you.
All right, all right. So you're looking for a variance on an existing building. Would you want to include the variance as well on these
Yes.
temporary containers and this?
Yes.
Is there any other place to put these?
He wants them next to the building because what they do is they store equipment that they use in the building. So if they have to go out in the rain to get it, they can go real quick right adjacent to it.
Could
If
you
they
go
went
over, could you go
somewhere
over here
else.
someplace? Or move them in?
They could move them up a little
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
And
Right
this-
now, the back of them lines up with the back of the building.
Yeah. I hesitate to
He could
talk
cut
about a
this
variance
off.
on temporary,
Yeah,
temporary
he could-
containers.
He could cut this off. He could reduce the lean-to to be even with the back of the containers.
Now, I note that these are, just for my edification, these are, in the drawing, these are slots supposedly for automobiles,
For automobiles, yes.
and yet, when we see the picture,
He doesn't have it full.
he does not do well on that, in terms of,
Yeah, he doesn't have them filled up.
he has it all
He's
over.
got some, but not, and it varies. Sometimes he'll accumulate them over the course of a year or two, and then he gets rid of them, and they go to a scrap yard, or they get dismantled at a scrap yard, and somebody comes and picks them up. And then he does sell some as used cars.
Okay. Question?
And he'll bring a car in here to clean it up, armor all it, or change the hubcaps, or do something like that to get it ready for a sale.
What is his primary business?
Well, he has two garages in Hyde Park, one on Salt Point Turnpike and a new one that he just bought on 9G, and he does auto repair work at them.
We're on 9G.
It was the, close to East Park, close to the East Park light. It was the old Herman's garage, I believe.
Across from the Union Cemetery?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That's the new one. The other one was on Salt Point Turnpike across from LC's General Store.
Okay. Who owns this property?
He owns this property.
And what is,
And he also owns this property.
okay, and what are we using, this property is used
This
for?
has a home on it.
Okay. Is that the home?
No, that's there's another property line here. His home is back here, so it comes in, there's, let me show you the picture of that, by the way.
This is the existing water course that goes through.
Okay. Okay. Here's the junkyard, which is this. And here you can see the buildings. This is the property up here.
It goes behind.
The highlighted property is the property to the north
Got it.
of
All right.
of that. And then he also owns this rectangular one to the south. And here's East Dorsey.
Okay. This, and this is an existing water course? Goes right
Yes.
through the property?
Yes, it doesn't flow much.
Oh, here it is.
I could.
Yeah, it shows it, yeah.
All right.
It's a small water course.
Ms. Moss, concerns on this from the village?
The applicant is also in front of the planning board for a site plan amendment. The planning board is requiring an updated survey. I believe there are other uses on the property that need to be addressed. I believe there's a pool, if it's still there, that needs a permit, and it will need to be on the site plan if
It's over here.
that's
Yes,
appropriate.
there's a-
There's also, I believe, animal husbandry conducted on the other small parcel. And it looked like there was a riding rink at one time within the junkyard. I'm not positive of that. It could have been some other kind of track. But all of those uses need to be established through the site plan.
Okay, okay. All right.
To shed a little light on and answer some of your questions, he hired Marie Welsh, the surveyor, to do the updates to the survey, to show the swimming pool, and any other modifications that might have been done, minor modifications, as well as I laid out these containers with my own engineering measurements, but the surveyor will redo them as well when she updates the survey map. But these shouldn't change because these are very accurate. The swimming pool will be located. His daughter had a pony or something that she might have used on the property. I don't know if she still uses it or not. This property is a residential lot, and so is that one.
There was also some soil that was brought in along the property line, towards
What?
East Dorsey. There was some soil piles along the property line.
That might have been a berm so that water wouldn't flow into the stream. I think we had talked about a berm years ago and the last time we were in for the planning, to prevent, any runoff from the automobiles from
Well,
making it into
it
the
doesn't appear to be stabilized. It just looks like it's piled dirt right now, so you might want to look at it.
Maybe. We might need to plant grass on them. Also, I spoke with the building inspector. The building inspector wants a full set of detailed plans for this addition.
When was this addition put on?
It was put on about 3 years ago in the middle of COVID.
So it's infected? No, I'm kidding. Okay,
Yeah, it was put on during COVID because he had an opportunity to do it, and he had somebody that was looking for work very badly, and he said, all right, let's put it up, and he did it, and
and you put it too close to the lot line.
he was too close to the property line, but he owns this property as well. But anyway, Westermeyer requested a set of detailed building plans and wants him to make sure that everything is up to code with the building. So I'm in the process of putting that together now, and within a few weeks I should have them complete and submitted to Don.
Okay. Anybody, we want to take a look at this?
Yeah, we need a site visit.
Like, a site visit would be helpful in terms of that. We could,
Yeah, if you want, I can meet you there, whatever you
yeah,
want.
we'll set, Kathleen, you'll set
Sure.
up something for us. We'll set that up before
The
that.
secretary will set it up.
Okay, all right. So, you're really asking for a variance on a building that's already been built 3 years ago without the permit?
Correct.
And he has engaged a surveyor.
He has a surveyor. She was hospitalized from COVID and almost died, and she's back to work now full-time, so she's catching up, and she said she would be out there in a couple of weeks and survey everything that's been up and updated.
Okay, all right. So I think we want to set a public hearing for...
How close is the house to this property line? I mean, could they do a lot line revision and get us out of the picture?
That house is up here, so the driveway comes in, the driveway is very close to the property line, and then it swings up to the house. Here's the driveway, yeah. Those are just some cars.
Like a little lot line revision right here, and boom.
I believe there's one more variance that I missed going through the first time. A salvage yard is required to have, I think, a 50-foot setback from the property line.
How much?
And it's supposed, 50, and it's supposed to be open for firematic access around the entire property, and this building was in that, and now it's more in that. So I think we probably need to add another section of code when we advertise.
Both his original building and the house would be, they're only 20 feet from the
Right.
line originally.
So we're going from 25 to...
From 50
50.
to 6 for the perimeter around the junkyard. And then for the side yard setback from, what is it, 25 to 6.
Is the perimeter to make sure, the perimeter of 50 feet would apply to...
The salvage yard property.
The salvage yard property.
All the way around.
It includes the whole thing in terms of what we're also considering. So everything, you'd need 50 feet on all of it.
And he
But
owns
he's
both
only
sides?
changing a little piece of it,
Yeah,
because it's been there forever.
okay.
It's pre-existing non-conforming.
Well, it's not non-conforming because it's not legal, so I'm not
Okay.
on there.
Let's see.
All right. Well, then I would, I move that we set a public hearing for June 28th.
Motion.
Second? Your second? We have a
Second.
motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So,
Who said second?
yeah.
I did.
Thank you.
And before that,
No,
we
you said
will
first.
arrange a site visit to come on, take a look.
It can't be first.
But also, and we need clarification on the 50 feet too. 'cause
We'll
that
find that
changes
section of code.
the variance that we're looking at.
Mention to the surveyor.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Okay,
That's what's needed.
Hmm? Yeah.
Well, these are not structures, these are just parking
Right.
spaces
Okay.
where a car would be parked. So there are no other
Yeah,
structures.
this is really
Okay.
the,
Okay.
The house There's a swimming pool here, a couple small, like, Sears sheds. And then he had the concrete block garage, which he wrapped around with the wood frame, and then the storage containers next to it.
There was no all in favor, say aye.
All right.
You know.
Good. All right. Thank you, sir. We will see you next month. Well, we'll see you before.
Yeah. All right, let me know when we want to do the site visit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Chair?
I'm sorry?
I just wanted to review who said first and second, and then I didn't hear a vote, all in favor, unless I missed it. I just want to record it.
For a site visit?
No, for, to set the public
No.
hearing for
Oh,
June
public hearing.
28th.
Set the public hearing.
I did the motion.
Okay, thank you. And who did the second?
I think I did.
Rich.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I keep getting rid of my microphone.
You gotta get over that. There being, is there any other business? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
If the board so chooses, on Chavez, the board voted to grant his requested variances, excuse me, last month.
Yes.
He was missing a variance for enclosed waste storage. The board had gone out on the site visit and found that rather than unenclosed waste, he had enclosed waste. The public hearing was closed, a vote was held, and at that time the board deleted the reference to the unenclosed storage. However, there is a variance required for enclosed storage as well.
Oh, okay.
So, we would entertain a motion to rehear the Chavez application.
And so the effect of voting to rehear the application would be to essentially nullify the former decision. The matter would have to be renoticed for public hearing. It's essentially starting the application anew with the correct variances. The vote, if the board chooses to rehear that application, would have to be unanimous.
Okay. I think we would want to get that moving, so we're looking for a unanimous, a motion to
Reset the
To
public hearing.
rehear-
rehear
The Chavez
the
application.
Chavez application. I need, I would move, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Okay. So next, do I need to set a public hearing?
You will need to set a public hearing. You should treat this as if it's a new application.
I would move to set a public hearing on the Chavez site for June 28th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so they don't need to appear for that, do they?
Well, technically, they should be encouraged to kind of amend their application that was previously submitted. As long as the notice has the correct variances on it, they can appear if they'd like to,
Okay,
but
so we'll notify them of that?
Yes.
Okay,
and maybe we can explain to them, why this is happening as well.
But we were all excited about the enclosed manure.
but we missed it. Okay. Yeah, okay. You think you want to go, huh? Okay. Is there any other business before the board? There being none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.